Welcome to this podcast from Stratfor, leader in global intelligence.
The coming weekend will see the first summit of the Three Amigos, the leaders of the United States, Canada and Mexico since Barack Obama moved into the White House, and also, incidentally, the first summit since Obama, on the campaign trail, cast doubts on the benefits of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. While trade will feature in Sunday's talks in Guadalajara, the prime focus will be the war against the drug cartels, violence down Mexico way, and arms smuggling. Welcome to Stratfor. I'm Colin Chapman. It's no coincidence that the pre-visit briefing at the White House was conducted by Jim Jones, Obama's national security advisor, who said the tightest, best possible cooperation over security was high on the agenda. Not surprising, really, when the string of gruesome killings across Mexico last week pushed the number of murders directly related to organized crime to more than 4,000 so far this year. Mexican gangs dominate the drug trade over the US border and up to Canada, and violence, often with American-made weapons, is spreading north from the epicenter, the state of Chihuahua. It's no country for young men, let alone old men. In some respects, the country is more dangerous, more predictable than Afghanistan. As Stratfor analyst and organized crime expert Fred Burton has explained, there is corruption on both sides of the Mexican border, in which officials, the police, and businessmen are implicated. In his security memo this week, he described how Mexican federal authorities searched the offices of the state-owned oil company Petróleos Mexicanos as part of an investigation into the widespread theft of gasoline, crude oil, and diesel from pipelines. The thefts date back at least a decade, though the problem grew much worse over the past year. Over the past 6 years, these thefts have cost the company an estimated $7.6 billion. The investigators have found employers are implicated, and it suggested they have links to the drug cartels and organized crime. The Stratfor Diary is a telling testimony of what Mexico's President Felipe Calderón and Obama are up against. Just take July the 29th as an example. Several gunmen armed with assault rifles and grenades attacked the home of a police commander in Boca del Rio, Veracruz state, killing the officer, his wife, and 4 children. The same day, authorities in Acapulco found the body of an unidentified man with signs of torture on his legs in a rubbish bin. The police chief in Chihuahua state died when he was shot multiple times. The victim had only been a police chief for 2 months, and he'd succeeded 2 other police chiefs who had resigned their jobs because of death threats. And authorities in Zindalo reported that 6 gunmen were killed during a firefight between army forces and 2 groups of armed suspects, just one fine day in Mexico. Meanwhile, human rights groups are fretting over the use of the military in the war on drug cartels. Since taking office in December 2006, President Calderón has deployed more than 35,000 troops in security operations around the country, mainly because of the high level of corruption in the police forces. The military have been multitasked, ranging from destroying crops, supervising customs inspections, to raiding the cartels. In dealing with the lawless, they've sometimes broken the law themselves, hence the activities of the human rights people. It's unlikely that in one weekend summit the Three Amigos can come up with a permanent workable solution. But the arrival of Obama and Stephen Harper will reinforce Calderón in his efforts to remove the stain on his country's reputation. And there are 2 documents I think you'll find worth reading on www.stratfor.com. There's Stratfor's Mexican Security Memo, which includes an interactive map identifying the hot spots, and a special feature on the role of the Mexican military in fighting the drug cartels. Please take a look. You might also like to watch our latest video on the attempts by the supreme leader of Iran to bang together the heads of warring factions, all on our website now. I'm Colin Chapman at Stratfor. Please join me again tomorrow for our weekend podcast. Until then, goodbye.